say a little bit about the coronavirus. People may be wondering where that fits into biblical prophecy. In Matthew 24 it talks about pestilence. The word pestilence in Matthew chapter 4 is the same word for plague. So there have been several plagues in the last 100 odd years. There was a couple in the 19th century. The Spanish flu killed approximately 50 million people. For those who don't know that, that's just massive. We can't even comprehend that. And then you've got AIDS, that has killed several million. I didn't have time to look up the figure. And now we've got the coronavirus, and there's plenty of other viruses that have been about before. People are wondering, where does this fit in biblical prophecy? Eventually, once I settle in a bit more, we will probably end up doing Bible classes or school on a Saturday afternoon, focusing specifically on end-time events and end-time prophecy. There's over 2,500 verses in the scriptures that talk about the return of Christ in the end time. There's only about 350 that relate to his first coming. There are 7 times more prophecy in scripture about his second coming than his first coming. And I know it's a topic of interest, and I think it's a topic of relevance because I believe we're at that point that people need to be prepared and understand. The difference about this virus compared to others is the world is different. We have international travel and we have international trade. This is the first time the world has been so reliant globally for production. My daughter runs a multinational company, and she explained it to me that many companies and businesses require China to produce parts if they don't produce the whole product. And so her company, if China can't start producing, will have to have a holiday, put people off. And depending on how long that goes as to how long that company can survive. But there will be companies that have nothing to do with the flu, it's not the flu, the coronavirus, who could end up having to close their business down the track if China doesn't open up soon. But now we've got other countries that are closing. And I read yesterday that there was a lady down on the Gold Coast who came back from Iran, that's right, and she was working in the shopping centre down there, and now they have 30 or 40 people, but they can't track all of them because people come in, pay cash and don't give information and so forth. It's not over yet. I don't think it's the virus that's particularly an issue. I think what's going to be more of an issue is the financial result. The world now is like a pack of cards, and you pull out a few cards and the system can collapse. The other thing that's significantly changed from previous plagues in that regard is that a lot of you would remember when you were younger, if you ran a business, you kept supplies. You had a factory of parts. That doesn't happen anymore. I went to buy some parts for a machine. They had to order those parts from overseas and wait for them to come in. So no one stores parts anymore. There's like an expected reliance on that system that in 3 days or so those parts will come. China stopped producing, the parts stopped coming. It's only a matter of days before you can't produce anymore. I wouldn't worry about it in terms of, I don't believe we're getting that close to the end that's part of the plagues in Revelation. The plagues in Revelation are something else. If you want to see where that fits, it's only Matthew 24, where it talks about the birth pains leading up to the return of Christ. I know I've probably just tempted you now because I'm going to move on to something else. But what it is to let you know that in a few weeks, once we're settled in, we will start having Bible study on Saturday about end-time prophecy.